Okay, guys, we are here today. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I understand. And Yeah, here's the E-mini NASDAQ. I'll put it up right now. NASDAQ's pushing towards, like here's the NQ right here, and it looks like it's over all-time highs, but it looks like it broke. Hold on, let me see. There's a weekly chart. Let me take a look at a 5-minute chart. Yeah, NASDAQ over all-time highs. So all-time highs previously to this were about 22,450. We are now at 22,464 roughly. We got up to 22,470 roughly. So all-time highs have broken officially on the NQ. So that's good. New all-time highs, 22,468.50 is what I'm showing. What's up, Blaze? Pawn. Let me get the banners rolling here. I'm hurt, man. Something happened to my leg, dude. I don't know what happened. Yeah, but today the NASDAQ oil, Bitcoin up to 107, oil all the way down to 64s. Yep. All right, so we got our banner up here. Let me get some music. I know I'm a little late. I went to bed late last night, but let me know if you can hear the music. You should be hearing it pretty well. What have I done? Hold on. There we go. Man, oil all the way down to 64s. It's weird. I got 2 pairs of these good AirPods. It's weird. Like I'll pair these AirPods, but then I won't hear it. So it says, and then when I look at it, it says the AirPod volume is turned down all the way. So that's weird. Like there's no way for me to turn the volume up on these things. I'm gonna have to switch AirPods. I got another pair right here. I'm gonna just try them because very strange. And then I'll have to forget these. But yeah, man, what a crazy day, honestly. NASDAQ. And we honestly made a bunch of money yesterday. We bought mostly dips here. Like as we got closer and closer to all-time highs, once we broke over 22,400, like once we broke over that, see, it says AirPods 0. Like it says the volume is 0. I don't know if it's this monitor. If there's a volume. But yeah, we're definitely going to be trading a little bit heavier today, just because the volatility's high. We were around all-time highs. You know, like we're around all-time highs. The volatility's high, and yeah. Let me know if the music keeps cutting out. I'm not sure if it does or not. Okay. Okay, I think I figured it out. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. I'm having trouble getting these AirPods connected, dude. My monitor is like a smart monitor, so it connects. Look at oil up here. Let me get some other charts up, and then we'll review the breaking stuff going on this morning. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, honestly. There's gold. We'll put like Nvidia gold. Maybe Bitcoin up to 107. So Bitcoin's looking stronger now too. Um, Here, hold on 1 second, guys. I got you. I know you can only see right now one of these charts. Let me switch it to where you can see both of these and the music. There we go. Make this low. Drag this down, and drag this over. Perfect. All right. Drag this up. There we go. We're in there. All right. Let me see if I can get these AirPods to connect. Gold's down too. Gold's down to 33.39 right now. 33.40 basically. All right, we got this. Finally. So we already broke all-time highs today. The likelihood that we break all-time highs, I think we just broke all-time highs again. Yeah, so we just broke all-time highs again. New all-time highs in the NASDAQ are 22,470 as we speak. So that's what just happened. So we just broke all-time highs again. New all-time highs, 22,470. And then the NASDAQ pulled back pretty deeply here. So U.S. stock futures are up. Powell has second day 2 of his NASDAQ or of his testimony today, so that's big. Yes, the NASDAQ 100 is now at 22,470 at its new all-time highs. It's sitting just around that. Oil spiked up a little bit just recently. It's at 64.80s. I got a correct AI. NASDAQ's pushing right up to retest here. So here's a 5-minute chart. You can put a 1-minute chart up to see this. Yeah, so NASDAQ 100 all-time highs. It's sitting at 22,190. It hit 22,220 yesterday, but had a record close. You know, we got the futures contract open, so the NASDAQ futures contract hit all-time highs. Other stuff going on in markets right now. Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon leading gains. If we take a look at bond yields, the 10-year yield is up again this morning. So bonds are higher. If we take a look at this, let's scoot over to this. It's currently at 4.298%, roughly 4.3% for 10-year treasuries. So treasury yields are high this morning. We're at, or not high necessarily, but low. They're at 4.3%, and they've dipped pretty heavily the last few days. So these were all the way at 4.5%. So they've dropped down from 4.5 to 4.3% where they're sitting now. That's a pretty big drop. Ceasefire news is helping. Oil's coming down on the ceasefire news. Bowman's talking about a potentially July rate cut, as you can kind of see in some of the news here. So that's big stuff going on. FedEx weakness is pulling transports down. They said they were impacted by tariffs. We have Powell testimony for day 2. We got GDP tomorrow and PCE on Friday. MU earnings after the close today, I think, right? So we have MU earnings. I gotta look. I haven't been paying much attention to earnings, but we got some. We got General Mills. But yeah, this evening we got MU. I'm trying to see when the next big earnings season starting. How long has it been since? So July 23rd earnings season starts. We got about a month now. What about JP Morgan? July 15th. Okay. So yeah. The bank earnings start July 15th. So really, we got a couple weeks. Yeah, so the NASDAQ 100 E-mini, 22,470 for NASDAQ futures. The actual NQ, if you can look it up just by NDX, it hit highs of 22,220.64. But when it opens up, it's going to be back where the NASDAQ futures contract is. Yeah, the September futures, and this is the September's contract. Look at us break highs again here. So we just broke highs again, it looks like. All right, so yeah, recent strikes on the stuff overseas caused oil to spike up. Bro, honestly, I'm gonna have to switch AI systems. I'm gonna have to go to Gemini, dude. Like, it's telling me stuff that I know is. I'm gonna have to go to Gemini. I'm like, hey. Like, I feel like AI just spits stuff out. It says WTI $74 a barrel right now, and I'm looking at oil. It's like $64.85 a barrel, and then I'm like, WTI and CL futures are below 65 right now, and then it says, oh yeah, well WTI is closed near 65. You know, so why didn't you say that first, bro? Brent's around 67 to 68, about $2 above WTI. So just, I'm gonna have to switch. I have the upgraded Gemini too. I'm just going to use that. SPY at 607s. It's still not quite at all-time highs, but look at the NASDAQ still pump up and break all-time highs. Nvidia is up to almost 150. It's getting very close to all-time highs as well. Yeah, look at another all-time high break in the NASDAQ here, guys. We are at 22,475 as we speak. Yeah, NQ futures breaking all-time highs up in pre-market, indicates bullish sentiment driven by continued optimism in the tech sector and AI demand. NASDAQ Composite also closed a record high yesterday. It's saying Dow futures are down. Is this true? Look at the NASDAQ break all-time highs again. We're at 22,480 right now. Yeah, Dow futures are down this morning. Okay. Oil prices are going up a little bit in pre-market. Are they? That's not what I'm showing, bro. Oh, yeah. Bitcoin up, gold futures, 10-year treasury yield is down. All right, so we got some breaking stock news. Micron Tech is set to report its third quarter results after market close today. So traders are expecting a big move, with analysts anticipating a 30% year-over-year sales jump and growing AI demand. Micron shares are sitting here. If we take a look at them, they're microchip stock, but they're not up like Nvidia. Nvidia is driving this move here. Apple and Meta, Perplexity AI, they're both reportedly considering bids for Perplexity. Apple, typically hesitant with large acquisitions, is holding internal sessions about a bid. It's roughly valued at $14 billion. It would be Apple's biggest on record. The competition could drive up the price, though, and so they're worried about that. Yeah, today we have the Senate part of all right, NASDAQ up to 22,485 right now, still breaking highs. Up to 487s. Yeah, so oil prices are down. It continues kind of yesterday's trend, which was influenced by the ceasefire, easing tensions. The announced ceasefire remains a significant development, contributing to drops in oil prices. With the immediate impact of the ceasefires positive, the broader geopolitical landscape can still influence sectors like cybersecurity or defense. A recent drop in U.S. retail sales in May, the largest in 2 years, is still linked to tariff impacts as well. New home sales figures released. Let me see. I don't think we have any big economic reports outside of Powell today. Let me make sure. Yeah, we got NBA 30-year mortgage rates. They showed up higher than expected. So mortgages actually showed up at 6.88% for 30-year mortgage rates, 6.88%. This is a bump up from the previous 6.84%. So we also just had building permits that just came out. They showed up at 1.394 million versus 1.393 last time, so slightly higher. Change is minus 2%. Previous was minus 2%, so not really much. Let me do a poll here. Does the market hold the gains it's made over the last 24 hours? Yes or no? All right, so we got up to 22,491. SPY isn't quite that strong. I mean, the NASDAQ is a little bit more tech heavy. So the NQ is more tech driven. Yeah, we get a pullback to the previous high up here at 450. We'll buy this for sure. But I'm not telling you to buy it. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. I can't guarantee anything. Oh, I think I might need to roll over here. Hold on. Let me make sure. NQ. Yeah, I've got the NASDAQ, just the regular NASDAQ. Yeah, we're in the September contract, the NQU25. Right? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but Nvidia is driving this again. Nvidia at the bottom, it's at 149.50s. All right, so Nvidia is up after a positive read-through from recent earnings and other stuff. There's supposed to be some type of company event today. Is that true for Nvidia? Strong narrative around AI demand and easing geopolitical stuff helping. Yeah, that's the normal one. Yeah, Nvidia is very close to all-time highs right now. So Nvidia all-time highs, I think, are 54s. It's at basically 49.50. So it's basically right at 50. About $4.50 away from all-time highs for Nvidia. Loop Capital adjusted the price target in Nvidia to 250 from 175, maintained a buy rating. So a lot of people saying AI hype is back. Nvidia got an upgrade. Tech is moving this morning for sure. Oh, dude. I hurt my knee yesterday, bro. My knee's gonna feel better today. I'm gonna feel great. My knee's gonna feel fine. Oh. Dude. All right, so now we're consolidating here. Look at MU though. I think MU is worth watching today. Here's oil all the way down to under 65 a barrel. I also had some news that China is blocking its rare earth exports from spilling their secrets, according to the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, I definitely heard it from futures, or not from futures, from jiu-jitsu. I trained yesterday. I felt good, honestly. But it's definitely hurt a little bit from that for sure. I don't know what it was, what it is. Definitely hurting a little bit. But I'll be all right. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Remember, guys, I'm not an investment professional over here. We're not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. I can't guarantee anything. Some of the links we post are affiliate or sponsored links. Be safe. Can't guarantee a thing. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. with that said, we're going to try to trace today. We're just a little bit too extended right now. We continue to break all-time highs, and that's good. I need a pullback. And again, we made a bunch yesterday and everything. So I'll show you some of my stats in my actual funded account right now. They're pretty solid. They're pretty solid. Like here is the month of June in my funded account so far. It's been slow, but pretty good. All right, so the European Commission says businesses will find it easier to attain state aid for green projects as part of looser rules, which will be in effect until 2030. So look, check me out. Here's most of my stats, and this is my actual main funded account. Look at the NASDAQ break highs. Wow. So this is my month of June in my main funded account. So that is my graph here. If you want to see like a different type of graph, you can look at this one. We have had 2 losing days in my main funded account in all of June. 1, 2. It's, you know, we've had larger wins than that day, and there's only 2 of them. And honestly, if you look how small like this one is, this is a tiny gain. It's basically a break-even day right here. So we really, we could all really call it like 1 losing day, but I'll call it 2 just to be fair. But that's 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2 out of 12 losing days in June trading this account. So you love to see it. $22,500 being a magnet right now. Yeah, I think it is. We can try to buy the dip, but all right, so ET Energy Transfer has expanded its LNG supply agreement with Chevron by 1 million tons per annum by the Lake Charles LNG project. SPY pulling back a little bit. SPY at 608s this morning. It's down to 607.90s right now, but you know, all-time highs on the SPY are at what, 614s or something like that, right? Yeah, 613.20s, all-time highs on the SPY. So the SPY still got a little ways to go. I'm gonna buy into this here actually. Oh wait, I gotta cut this immediately. I just realized that this is NQ. I need the micro right now. I gotta switch here. All right, we will buy this now and add about 2 to 3 contracts into this. See if we get a pop back up there, but we made a good bit yesterday trading. I just want to trade some of this volatility. So there's 3. We're not going to take anything larger than this. I want to see if it moves back up to test 22.5. I think 22.5, a big milestone kind of level here, is the $0.50. So I want to give it time to test that, but I'm not going to be too crazy with it. There's not really any good pullback zones either, so I got to be a little bit more risk averse with that type of stuff, but we'll see. There we go. Nice green. Okay. All right, we're going to take a piece off there just to protect the trade because we can. Try to hold the rest pretty close to break even. We're going to take another piece off there just to protect the trade because we can. We'll sit on the rest. We'll try to sit on it break even now and let it roll up there like we want it to. All right, so the Swiss finance minister says the delay in the U.S. trade deal is not the fault of Switzerland, as she spoke with U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent on Monday in hopes for an all-in principle agreement by July 9th. We're going to add to this, I think, here on this bounce. I don't like that retracement back down, though. That does scare me, so we're going to cut a piece of this here. Oh my gosh, dude, my knee is so messed up right now, dude. I don't know what this is, bro. Ooh. Yeah, we got Jay Powell today. It was on yesterday too. See, we're so close to that 22.5 level that I want, so I'm just gonna sit. Yeah, we made a bunch yesterday. We really did. There we go. He wants to get up there. Fighting. I'm gonna hold the rest break even now. We got a good little break even spot, so hopefully it runs up and breaks this 2250 now, but regardless, we'll be all right. It's there. I'm gonna add on a pullback here, I think, and then try to hold this break even, but I want to give it a chance to retrace up there. It's right at these highs, so let's see if it can. The only thing I don't want, and something that you do see happen here since we've been breaking highs all morning, is when the sell-off comes, it can come deep and fast. And so that's not what I want. I got to be very careful and kind of keep my hand over the cover button just in case. It's looking less favorable now, but we'll see if we pop back up there. We're close to this all-time high level. And I think 22.5 is a milestone level that people want. So we'll see. I think a lot of this is Nvidia getting driven by Nvidia as well, and Nvidia is kind of stagnated out there. I think a lot of the market wants 450, but we'll see. It took a little off there. They're 22.5s. We might just kind of sit on this and try to let it work, this 22.450 level. How you guys doing, chat? Hey, what's up, Sam? Yeah, the price action yesterday was very easy. Yeah, Sam, that's the wrong link, brother. I'll have to put up the other link for Top Step here, and I'll pin it to the top of the chat. So yeah, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support your boy here on this channel. No PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, some currencies. No PDT room. And they pay out millions and millions of dollars. It's the single best way to learn day trading with limited risk. You know, most day traders lose money. So if you put up your own money, you're probably going to lose. Let's be real here. And it's a lot cheaper to try Top Step regardless of anything. And so it just makes more sense, I think. If you want to check it out, here's the link. I'll put it right here. You can check it out. Great way to help support the channel. They are an affiliate or sponsor of mine, but so I'm biased for sure. You want to confirm it all with them. Can't guarantee anything, but genuinely useful. Zero commission if you use Top Step X as well. There's the link. I'll pin it to the top of the chat. So yeah, we're pulling back some here. We're kind of flat on the overall trade, and I do want to let it consolidate. I just don't want it to come down too much here, because like this trade's relatively small. It doesn't mean too much, but I just want to see if it tries to test this level right here. This is a big level, and we've gotten really close to it and didn't break it. So that's usually one of my favorite trades to take. And now we're completely flat on the trade. So we got a video dropping tomorrow probably. I was going to drop it today, but I think tomorrow we'll have a better redirect with GDP and stuff like that. So we're going to drop it tomorrow. Yep. All right, we're still here. I probably could argue larger size now too. You know, we got higher highs. I'm gonna add to this here and see if we can get an immediate rip back up. NATO allies have reaffirmed their commitment to collective defense in Article 5. That news just came out. We went ahead and added to this. I mean, we have a higher low here, which is generally pretty good. Now we're so I think I can add here, but I have to just be willing to cut it quickly if it doesn't go where I want it to go. But I can also give it a chance to do what I want it to do here as well. So there we go. All right. Ticking higher here. Nice. Take a piece off there. Take another piece off there. I got to start using limit orders, dude, because like it'll tell me I have a certain amount of profit, but then we'll try the same thing again. We'll buy into this here, see if we push, which we are. Take some off there. Now we're back to flat on the day. We're just going to cut it. So yeah, we're back down to basically break even on this account. We're red slightly, but yeah, I like to enter wherever I want, so I might try this thing where I can limit in and limit, or market in and limit out, because I like to enter where I want to enter. But what's up, Faye? Yowzer. Yeah, I mean, the price action is interesting for sure. Definitely a little more interesting this morning. I remember we got Jerome Powell later. So we do have Jerome Powell a little bit later. NASDAQ's been breaking all-time highs. Sorry, it's asking me if I can stand on my heels. Let's try it. On my toes. Oh man, dude, I'm hurt right now. Okay, that doesn't hurt at all. I can stand on my toes without any pain. All right, we're up there. Let's see if we hold. All right, so SALT caucus member will meet with Treasury Secretary Besson at 11 a.m. today, according to multiple sources. All right, guys, so we are up to 492s here. Maybe I should have held that long. 8:30 news. No, not really. Looking at our poll numbers here, 68% say yes, the market holds its gains. 32% say no. Yeah, quantum computing market's super interesting. No, my back's fine right now. Yeah, how do you guys do limit orders on Top Step X? I know Pawn talked about using using like there's like a you can like drag and drop your orders. Yes, maybe I should have held this. Here's that 22.5 level we talked about. I think you got to look at like this level here. But we're getting close up there. And again, Nvidia is one I'm watching very close for stuff because like look, we got an MU earnings this evening, but Nvidia is sitting here. It's pretty close. It's at 149.50s. So right click on the chart. All right, so there's a pop up to almost 22,450. Assume if we get this close, we're going to break it, even if we retrace down. So I'm going to try to buy into this here. We'll add some if it keeps pulling back. Ideally, I'd like a deeper rip to the upside, of course. I'll take 4 contracts here, top, and that's it. We got very close to 22.5s. So we do like a bouncing motion here. We didn't quite get there though. I feel like we want to test it. Here we go. I want to give it a chance to get back up there, but this looks less good. But we'll give it a second. SPY's still trying though. SPY's still up to, where's it at? 608 right now. So it's slowly. SPY's making a move slowly up here. What do I want to do here? I probably just want to let this work. Maybe reduce size if I can. But there we go. That's better. There we go. I'm going to take a little piece of this off. Just keep it 3 contracts. Risk management. And yeah, it looks like that was the right move, but see, this is what I was worried about. Like sometimes when it comes back down, it can come down quick. I've got a couple challenge accounts that we can trade on too, as a that are pretty close to getting funded. So we'll play with these this morning and trade these more. We could buy this dip to get some risk tolerance in here. We're very close to 22.5s, so I want to let it test that. I really do, and we can add to this and take some risks. But yeah, like I said, sometimes when you like the worst thing that can happen in these situations is sometimes when you get really close to these type of milestone levels like 22.5, the breakdown just happens deep, like fast, because everybody starts to panic and like cut their trades. And so you can kind of see these big, deep pullbacks close to all-time highs and close to milestone levels from everybody that wanted to ride it up, just jumping out of it quickly. Yeah, we may be getting that right now. We're back to my level at 450 though, so we will try to take some risk here. This is a challenge account, by the way, so if we fail this, it's not the end of the world. Look at my level hold here though, so we did get a little bounce. The other one we were trading was our funded account, but we're down like 40 bucks on it, which is pretty small. Oof. All right, let's see if we bounce here quickly. We'll maybe add a little bit here. The problem is Nvidia. So Nvidia is turning all the way back down to 149. So that's an issue. But there we go. We're green. Reduce some size here. Somehow we're red in this, but again, just a bad fill. Yeah, Bitcoin's up. I do see Bitcoin higher, and that's good. Kind of want Bitcoin to be higher, so Bitcoin up. That's good. We don't have any 830 data today. It's pretty boring, honestly. But we're kind of at the bottom of this channel now after breaking all-time highs, so you can kind of see. Oh my gosh, dude, my leg hurts just to move it. It hurts when it's extended away from the knee, like it. There we go. Nice. I'm just going to hold this, I think. See if we can ride this up. There we go. Nice. There we go. All right, so we're back green on this now. We'll let the rest ride up. Add to this just because we're really deeply in the green, so we can add to it and try to hold it break even. say try because it's not always easy, but we're gonna try. The levels work though, man. I gotta start following my levels. That's what people yesterday told me, is that the levels on my charts usually are respected pretty well. If I just wait to attack those levels, especially the first test, I think I'll have some good trades to get in. All right, French President Macron says that the U.S. cannot be asked to spend more in defense while there is a trade battle going on. Nice. All right, so we're still heading up. Slowly reduce size on the move up, and then maybe decide to add back somewhere along the line. But nice little gain here. I got these old beginner trading mugs. If you look at them, these are old beginner trading mugs. I've had these for years and years and years. They're kind of cool mugs though. They've got like a chart. I'm going to cut the rest break even right here. Still very green on the day now. So. Yeah, so Nvidia stock to open up pretty close to all-time highs here, chat. Like, pretty close. Like all-time highs on Nvidia are 154, I think. So if you take a look at Nvidia here, back up to almost 150. So this thing's like, oh, it's 153. So we are about $3 and maybe 50 cents, 350 away from all-time highs. You can see bond yields are starting to decrease more, are starting to rebound back up a little bit this morning. Bond yields currently sitting at about they got as high as 4.31 up here. They're back down to 4.29 right now. So bond yields moving. So we're still heading up to the tops of this range. Here's 22.5s. I'm going to be a little bummed when it breaks 22.5 because You talking about the Nvidia Investor Day? I don't know. We're up there. So yeah, Nvidia has their Investor Day. Jensen Huang and other executives. Nvidia does its annual meeting of stockholders today as well. Right? Oh, I'm sorry, not its Investor Day. It's annual meeting of stockholders today at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's 9 a.m. Pacific time. So that's in multiple hours. So right now it's 5:30 Pacific time. So it's 2 hours behind us. So 9:30 or 9 a.m. Pacific time is going to be in 3.5 hours. High probability of all-time highs this week. Yeah. All right, so again, we're very rangy right now. Markets are elevated still, of course, from all the stuff going on. We got Big Papa Jerome Powell later today, so that's something all right, so China Group likely used Japan to ship chemicals, according to Nikkei. Right, so we're back down here. Should I buy this 481 level? I always talk about not buying the same level twice because it just becomes... What is all-time highs on the NASDAQ? All-time highs on the NASDAQ are currently 498, 22,498. So it's close, but not quite there yet. Like we're pretty close. So close, but not, again, we're not quite there yet. We need some room. I'm gonna change our thumbnail here. I'm tempted to buy this, Chad. I think I will. We already got a cushion, so we can maybe add some size up to maybe 10 contracts here. But I want to see if we get a bounce right where we're at now. It would technically be a higher high. We got the cushion to justify it, I think. And there's a little dip, but not something we can't buy into now. There we go. Okay. Good. Look at our poll number. 70% of people think we hold these gains. Yeah, it's not that I'm not reading your comments, Sam. I'm just looking at it now. I'm not looking at the chat right now. If anything, I'm using AI to ask me what's wrong with my leg, and I'm trading a lot right now. So I'm not even looking at the chat, bro. It's nothing against you. I'm just not looking at the chat. There we go. That's a nice little spike, but it didn't really hold. Let's see if it continues. There we go. I don't know what this is, but take some off and hold the rest. This is kind of some volatility showing up in markets here. Interesting. It's a little weird. Yeah, I'm going to cut that, though. It looks to be heading down. Kind of a flat trade, honestly. We got 2 micros here, so we'll just wait. We're at the bottom of the range. I think a lot of traders are going to start buying that up, but I'm just looking to attack the little range here. I'm just kind of getting in and out. I'm trying to build up a cushion in this account and then get potentially funded in it is what I'm trying to do, but time will tell. Powell speaks today at 10 a.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm not really a cat person. Like, I like cats. I had cats growing up, but my wife's allergic. But if I had to pick a cat or a dog, I'm picking a dog. Dogs, like, look, I feel like cats are for people that don't want to put in any effort. No offense to you. I love cats. Cats are cool, honestly. When you got a bond with a cat, it's really cool. But there's nothing like a bond with a dog, you know? Like bonding with a dog. See, I should have held. I just got scared out of this. Buying the bottom of the range would have worked here. Honestly, what I'm scared of is the bottom getting just dumped out from underneath me, right? Like, I'm worried about the bottom just getting hit, you know? That's what I'm worried about. Like, I'm worried about the bottom just getting dumped from under me. And, like, I think it's possible right now, too. But I should have held. I'm watching Nvidia, though. It's whether you think Nvidia is going to make another retest of this level and when you think it's going to happen here. That's what it's really about. Timer for what? Powell? All right, so the president just said, quote, "I stand with Article 5, end quote." Again, I stand with Article 5, end quote. We'll see. So. Powell's not speaking now. Powell will speak at 10 a.m. I'll put a timer up just because people are asking for it. We've got an hour and 21 minutes, roughly. This is when Powell speaks. All right, look at this NASDAQ rip here. Trying to see if there's any reason for it or whether it's just testing the top of the range. All right, Nvidia at 149.40s here, 149.40s. All right, so I'm reading this thing that the Secretary of Commerce, Lutnick, said. He said, quote, I just listened again to Powell. He goes out of his way to call out tariff price increases, potentially adding to inflation as if he's seen some, but in fact he testifies that over the last 2.5 months, such inflationary price increases have not materialized. Zero. He literally states that the overall inflation picture is pretty positive. The problem, though, with this comment, in my opinion, right? But what do I know? I have no idea what I'm talking about. The problem with some of these comments, though, is that it's as the Federal Reserve chairman, you have to be precautionary. Meaning it's not about what the inflation picture looks like now. It's about what the inflation picture looks like for the rest of this year. And if I think it's reasonable to assume we might get more inflation from these tariffs, which are generally inflationary, of course, because the costs are passed on to the consumer. I think if you start, if that's a possibility, if it's plausible that we're going to see inflation spike over the next 6 to 8 months or whenever, then I think you also have to be a little cautious. I'm not saying we shouldn't have cut rates. Again, I think you could probably argue a rate cut last Wednesday. But I think it's certainly nuanced. I don't think it's very obvious. I think it's somewhere in the middle right now. And I don't think it's an easy choice. And so I think both sides, the issue I have with both sides is that both sides are acting like the answer is obvious. And it's not. It's not obvious. We don't have weak enough market data and economic data to justify super aggressive cuts right now. You know, we don't have super weak market data, number one. Number two is we don't want to wait too long and have the market completely turn. You know, again, it's kind of like picking up pennies in front of a train track. You don't want to wait too long. Eventually, you're going to get hit. And so I'm somewhere in the middle right now. I think you could probably argue a rate cut on Wednesday this past week. But it needed to be small. And I would, like I've said this before, I would be okay if they ended QT and then did a 25 basis point cut, right? Balance. Or if they continue QT and pause, right? Both of those things, or I'm sorry, that's backwards. I would be okay if they continued QT and did a 25 basis point cut, or if they, wait, sorry, I'm getting this mixed up. QT is a restrictive monetary policy. So if they want to balance it with a less restrictive or loose monetary policy like a cut, I'd be okay with it. But if they're going to end quantitative tightening, they need to pause rates, is basically what I'm saying. So yeah, I'd be okay if they continued QT and then did a 25 basis point cut, or if they end QT and they do a pause, right? Like both of those are pretty balanced behaviors. All right, NASDAQ tapped that 22.5 level we talked about all morning. Maybe I should have held. But I certainly think it's nuanced right now. I don't think it's an easy choice. I think it's somewhere in the middle, and I think it's a hard thing to figure out, really. You know, and something that you'll get from both sides, especially like last year's election year, you know, so you got one side acting like it's the worst it's ever been, which it wasn't. Cough, cough, elect our guy. And then you got the other side acting like it's the greatest it's ever been. Cough, 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 which it certainly wasn't. You know, please keep our guy in power. And I don't like politics because of that, because nobody's really telling you the truth, which is that it's somewhere in the middle. It's kind of in a nuanced middle ground area right now. And none of them will really say it, both sides, you know. And so people get mad at me here sometimes because they think I'm really rooting for one side, or maybe like the information I bring up is too one-sided. But I'm really not trying to be one-sided. I'm trying to be neutral. And I am neutral because I don't trust any freaking politician. Like, I don't like any politicians. I go by policy, and there's some stuff I agree with and there's some stuff I disagree with, but in the end I am a capitalist. And yeah, so NATO's Secretary General Rutte says they'll continue to support on irreversible path to membership, end quote. And again, the big story is Nvidia. Look at Nvidia start to push up. So what made the NASDAQ break all-time highs just now and get up to 22,501 is Nvidia. Nvidia is pushing towards the highs of the day. The highs of the day on Nvidia are 149.50s. 149.50s. Yeah, we should never be printing money right now, Jim. 100%. Like, we should not be doing quantitative easing in any way right now. We just don't have the weak economics to justify it. You know, and like, I get it. They want a thriving economy. I understand. Every president does. It's not really something you can knock them for, because every president wants a thriving economy. And so, but we certainly don't have the weak enough economic data to justify QE or something like that. Well, we maybe can cut 0.25%, but it's nuanced for sure, and I don't think the I don't think the I don't think it's an easy decision. Um, but again, I'll say it again. I think you could probably have argued a 25 basis point cut as long as we continue the quantitative tightening that we're doing as balance. Continue QT, do a 25 basis point cut, wait, see what the data shows up next month. Data's good, bad, make your decision. But the bigger issue is that people that are biased politically end up just kind of like acting like the decision's obvious, and they just kind of end up towing the company line. And I'm not really, trying to do that. Anyways, we got 15 minutes until 9 a.m. market time. NASDAQ just tapped all-time highs and then pulled back. I couldn't buy this dip. I don't know if I want to or not yet. Let's see. White House economic advisor Hassett says trade deals will come sooner than later, according to Bloomberg. Yeah, but when are they going to come? Like, listen, every time some of these guys speak, they're like, yeah, trade deals are coming soon, right? And I don't know if I'm wrong here, and y'all can correct me if I am. But every time they say this, and again, I'm just stating what I see here. Every time they say this, they're like, yeah, trade deals are coming next week. And then next week rolls around, and then the end of the week happens, and no trade deals are announced. And then they're like, yeah, well, trade deals are coming next week. And then the next week rolls around and nothing really happens. And so the only question is, when are the trade deals going to happen? They say sooner than later. They're keeping it pretty ambiguous. And I want trade deals. Trade deals are good. Makes the market go up mostly. And so I'm rooting for trade deals to happen. But I'm not really seeing them. They keep saying they're coming. And we still got time. We still have a couple weeks until the July deadline in a lot of places. So maybe they happen, maybe they don't. We'll see. Yeah, politicians. It's not one side, it's both sides, right? But yeah. And I tend to think we're going to get a deal done. I said this once, I'll say it again. The U.S. needs China. China needs the U.S. China, of course, is going to say, oh, we don't need the U.S. at all. We're the single largest buyer of Chinese goods in the world. I think they need us a little bit. Same thing with we need them. If we don't get them, prices for us are going up. So that's a situation in which we would see inflation. And so because of that, I tend to think a deal is going to get done. We'll see, though. Do you guys think a deal with China is going to get done? Let me know. I know the conflict is kind of taking up everybody's attention recently, but I tend to think it's going to get done. Yeah, I mean, I give them the benefit of the doubt. I think what happened is the conflict stuff took up most of their time, and so they haven't been focusing on deals as much. But maybe with the ceasefire, they're going to spend that time getting deals done. We'll see. They really do not. So you genuinely think, so Fraser, you genuinely think China does not want to get a deal done with their single largest buyer of Chinese goods? Yeah, they could say, oh, we're finding replacements. We don't need the U.S. Of course they do. Again, I think we did the math here. 15% of their goods are bought from us specifically. If you're a business, do you want to lose 15% of your revenue? It might sound small. It's not. Of course not. Of course you don't want to lose 15% of your revenue. Nobody does. And so because of that, I tend to think a deal is going to get done. Of course, they're going to posture and be like, oh, we don't need the U.S. And yeah, I mean, I guess I understand that. But, Yeah, the president did say the F word. I saw that. Interesting. All right, BYD EV maker has signed an agreement with Vostal Pipe for the supply of steel to BYD's facility in Hungary. Oil's starting to pop back up a little bit, though. If we take a look at oil, we got NU earnings today. Here's oil starting to rise back up to almost $65 a barrel. Almost 65 a barrel. NATO Secretary General Rutte says we can safely assume that military aid for Ukraine this year will be more than the 50 billion provided in 2024. Yeah, so I'm going to put this quote from Rob here. It says, in 2022, China was the top supplier of goods to the U.S., accounting for 16.5% of total U.S. good imports. And very true. We need them as well, right? Like both, again, people tend to get really pulled in one side. Maybe they disagree or they don't like somebody or whatever. But the reality is both sides need each other to a certain extent, and they don't want to lose the other's business without question. We don't want to lose their business because they play a pivotal role in keeping our prices down. And so if you want rate cuts, you better hope we get a deal with them, because if not, prices here are going to spike. They're going to get passed on to us, and prices here are going to get worse if the trade deal doesn't get announced. That's why the market reacts so negatively when these tariffs were originally announced. It's because the fear of inflation spiking. And so, yeah. But if you think they don't want to lose 15%, somebody said, oh, it's just 15%. In business, 15% of your income is a huge percentage of your income, especially if we're talking about the numbers that they're talking about. It's not a small percentage. 15% is massive. Nobody wants to lose that. It's just not smart. And they, of course, don't want to lose it. Yeah, I mean, Fraser says they don't need American goods. That's true. It's not about them needing American goods. They need our sales, is what they need. It's not easily replaceable. It's not easy for them to replace the sales that we use buying from them, the money that we give them to buy their goods and to import their products here. Right? It's not a very easy thing to replace. And so trade deals will come sooner than later. Yeah. All right, so NASDAQ broke all-time highs again. It's up there right at 22.5s now. Still pushing up. Nvidia makes, Nvidia's been trying here. I'm going to put Apple up right now. Apple at 201s here as well. You see oil in the middle and then Nvidia at the bottom. But look at Nvidia go. It's trying to hold up here. It's trying to make a move. It's pushing the NASDAQ to all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, Fraser, listen, it's all love here. But if you don't think they need our business just like we need theirs, you're being incredibly naive, brother. It's all love. We got 6 minutes left until the 9 a.m. level here. Yeah, we're breaking all-time highs. New all-time highs on the NASDAQ. Futures are 22,505 now. Look at oil start to bounce back up. It's at 65. This is NQ U25. I can put the actual NASDAQ up here. But yeah, this is all-time highs. You put a weekly chart up. Actually, no. You might be right. When did we get up to 22.7s? Okay, I guess all-time highs are on 22.9. So I guess we got to watch 23s here. Yeah, I looked at another chart. Maybe I was wrong. Hold on, let me look. I've been assuming this was all-time highs. Look, 22,504. Yeah. I guess it depends on where you look, but I guess you're right. And the U25 is an overall time highs. The NASDAQ, according to most people, are. All right, so the U.S. White House is reportedly preparing to defer around 200 individual accounts across the Fed government via WAPO, citing sources would be a test of law that requires spending of congressional mandated funding, end quote. So we'll see if that happens. Hey, thank you, Fraser. Yeah, you too, brother. Good luck today, man. Well, I'm finally feeling better today, man. I think what a lot of people are watching are Nvidia. All right, again, we got day 2, Jerome Powell. We'll see how that looks like. It's about to be 9 a.m. Yeah, so looking at Powell yesterday, I'm looking at this quote from Nick Timiraos, who's one of the main guys that interviews Powell during like every FOMC meeting. You'll see Nick T speak. I'm talking about some key takeaways. So Powell yesterday basically confirmed that the Fed isn't quite ready to look through tariff increases, given the range of unknown, size of increases still being determined, and magnitude of the pass-through, etc. Following a period in which price stability hasn't been fully restored, Nick T said, quote, the basic position is conditional and not absolute. He pushes back a bit that they could have confidence by July, but sounded more open to September here. And if we take a look at the rate cut odds right now, if we take a look at rate cut odds, 20% chance of a rate cut in next month, at the end of next month. So remember, it's like July 30th. So it's at the very end of next month. Nvidia's still pushing up, guys. Look at Nvidia up to 149.50s. 80% chance of a pause next month in July as well. So NASDAQ's still propelling higher here. And again, it's going to follow Nvidia. So Nvidia high of the day is at 149.55. We're at 149.47. So we're about 7 cents away on Nvidia from the highs of the day. There we go. We just popped over it. We're at 149.59 right now. Nvidia just broke highs of the day. Is pushing towards 150, 153.15 or so is Nvidia all-time highs. So Nvidia is getting close to that as well. $22,868 all-time high on the micro. Daily chart, he said. Yeah, I'm showing like 22,870s, but it depends on which one I look at. Like if I look at TOS, it's showing that we're over all-time highs already. So it depends on which data source you're looking at, but we're basically there now. I'm gonna look at 23 now. I think 23 way up here is the next big one. So I think it has to do with Nvidia today, though. Look at Nvidia rise on the bottom right. Nvidia is starting to push up. It's at 149.60s. So it's trying to get up there. We'll see. I don't think Powell will cut until tariffs are in effect or completely called off. I don't know if they're going to get completely called off, but they might be reduced. We'll see. Yeah, AMD, Nvidia, microchips are pushing up this morning. Oil's back up to $65 a barrel, but it's still down, obviously, a lot. AMD's up to almost 140s if we take a look at it. Here's AMD. It's at 141 right now, basically. Look at AMD, 141s. High of the day is 141.08. So Nvidia is getting up there. I'll put two charts up here. Apple's pushing towards highs here. So here's Apple on the right, and then we can put AMD and Nvidia up on the top and bottom. Get Nvidia up there, though, man. That thing's pushing. Yeah, AMD up to 141s. Effective federal funds rate unchanged. Google debuts Gemini AI coding tool in a bid to pull in some developers. All right, so let's look at this 149.80 or 150 level. I think 150 is big for Nvidia. If we can get over that, it's a big spot. Let me prep the live stream here for Jerome Powell at the open. All right, guys. So just like yesterday, we're going to pivot to the Jerome Powell stream. Timing up. It needs to be today. Yeah, we're going to pivot to the Jerome Powell stream in about 5 minutes. So just stick around. I'm trying to build this. NASDAQ up to 22,508. Still pushing here. Still making moves. I mean, I could also just stick around and do the Powell stream on this one, but I think I'm going to pivot to the new one. I have to pivot to OBS just because I can control the volume better, let people tune in. All right, so we tested 510s. Nvidia's still pushing up here. So Nvidia's still making a move. AMD dipping down quickly too here for a candle. Should I buy this level here? It's a big dip. I'm going to try buying one contract here, maybe adding on a dip down to 22.5s. Big red candle. I think Nvidia wants to get over 150 too. I think that's like the big level for Nvidia. Well, we're either at all-time highs or close to them, depending on which chart you look at and for which one. All right, so we're going to buy into this. That's a very large pullback. We'll see if we can retrace back up. I want to give it time. This is a challenge account, so we can take some size here, but let me give it a second. All right, guys. So again, we're going to pivot to the Jerome Powell stream probably right now. Sorry, I'm trying to manage this, so it's kind of messing me up a little bit, but all right. I'll buy, but I'm not as confident in buying. Take 25 and that's it, and just be prepared to cut it if it keeps breaking. About flat on the day now. I want to see if Nvidia pushes higher. That's what I want. I want to see Nvidia higher. Yeah, well, Powell speaks at 9 o'clock Central. So. As we did yesterday, we kind of pivot to the Powell stream. And we'll trade the opening bell there live if you want to watch us. There goes Nvidia bouncing. Again, it's a challenge account, so I can take a little bit more risk here. I want to buy into Nvidia's bounce here, but we have a second. I'll let this trade play out first, and then we'll switch back. We're down to 140 here, but we're already up about that on the day, so I want to see a bounce back right now. There we go. Nice. Green. Half off there just to protect it. Take more. And then we'll hold the rest, break even here. Likelihood of a July rate cut right now is about 20%. 20% chance of a July cut. All right, if you want to watch the rest of this trade, you shouldn't have to go anywhere. We're immediately going to pivot to our Jerome Powell stream pretty soon. But you shouldn't have to go anywhere. Let me make sure redirect is working here. Okay, yeah, we're good. So you shouldn't have to go anywhere. It should immediately pivot you to the Jerome Powell stream. If it doesn't, for whatever reason, here's the link to the Powell stream coming out right now, basically. And again, we're just going to pivot to this stream. It's the yeah.
we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be trading live, and so you can watch us kind of trade here if you want to, go there with us. Here is that link right here, just so you can, if it doesn't redirect you, which it should bring you automatically there as soon as we close this stream. It should pop you right back into the second stream. But here's the link just in case it doesn't. We put this link in chat. All right, so we're pushing up some more. We'll take 2/3 of that position off. But again, if you want to watch the rest of that stream, I'll see you guys over there. Watch the rest of this this trade. I'll see you guys over there. Good luck. If it doesn't bring you, there's the link in chat right here. There's the link right there. Should bring you immediately there, by the way. But just in case, we'll see. All right, guys. I'll see you over there.